What is up, guys, and welcome back to a brand new video. Once again, we are back with career mode. This is episode number 2 of season 2. This is the Bahrain Grand Prix. This is going to be an interesting race. Last season, I feel like this circuit in particular was a low point. It was, a little way into the season. Upgrades had started to have been applied to other teams, and for the most part, we were nowhere, I think, from what I remember. But we've got a completely different car now. We've got a lot more knowledge of this game. We have much better setups. The chassis is much nicer to drive with on this game, so hopefully it can be a different affair. But qualifying 1, you can see we just about squeezed through that session. P15, the last place safe through to the next session, but we were safe by 3/10 in the end there, so yeah, comfortably in. In terms of my teammate, he's been very quick this weekend. I think he's right up there in terms of the practice times. In qualifying, he seems to be not too far off the mark either, but here we go for qualifying 2 now. We have no upgrades being applied for this race in particular. We've got 2 front and rear, or 1 front, 1 rear major downforce upgrade heading our way, but that's coming for the Chinese Grand Prix the next episode. So we're going to have to make do for now with the car that we have right now, and hopefully it's good enough to be a top 10 car at the moment. But final lap of the session here. This is our fastest lap, maybe of the weekend. We'll have to wait and see. But you can see we're up by almost 2/10 as we go through the middle sector now. This circuit feels a little bit more understeery on this game. I don't know quite what it is. Maybe the rotation of the car isn't quite as good, or when you get to higher lock, when you start turning the wheel more, there's more understeer. I don't really know, but I just seem to struggle a little bit more versus the AI at this circuit in particular, and I just can't quite put my finger on it no matter what I try to do with the setup. But in saying that, we're going pretty quick at the moment. This has been a really solid lap. A little bit of a tardy exit there. We had to correct the steering. We ran out wide just ever so slightly, but final corner of this Bahrain Grand Prix circuit. 3rd gear there to get the nose in to rotate it. Short shift back up into 4th to get the best traction on exit and up to the line. Overtake is engaged, and it is P10. Safe into the final part of qualifying. 7/10 away from Charles Leclerc there, though. So that's a bit worrying, but at least the car performance is there. Charles is showing what you can do with it, but as we move on to Q3, it was kind of more of the same. I did the exact same time as what I did in Q2. It was good enough for P9, surprisingly. Charles improved by 1/10, but moved back 2 places, so in terms of the other teams around us, they really stepped up their game, and we had no more gears to theoretically shift up into. So that was it for us for Sauber. But we've got to pick a new rival now. We have the option of picking Raikkonen. We can pretty much pick anyone, I think. So we're not going to go for a front-running team just yet. I don't feel like we're quite there. It's quite risky to go for a team or a car or driver who is naturally faster than you. It's very hard to win rivalries as it is. So I'm going to pick someone who is slightly below us, or I'd say more or less our equal at the moment. I'm going to go with Haas, and I'm going to pick Kevin Magnussen. So hopefully we can beat him, and that will give us a good amount of resource points if we do. That's the biggest thing, and if you win the rivalries, you get a big bonus in resource points. So that's kind of why I want to secure those and make sure we actually win, because if you lose, it's a big risk. And you take a bit of a hit reputation-wise. But we're getting ready for the race now, the Bahrain Grand Prix, starting from P9 on the grid. I don't know how this one is going to go. Pace doesn't come to us naturally, but hopefully with strategy, we can play ourselves in quite nicely.
The curtain rises once more then on the desert stage of Sakhir as the players take their places for the opening act. Will they enthrall us like they did in 2014 with that titanic battle between Nico Rosberg and Lewis Hamilton? Well, we'll find out shortly as we get underway here in Bahrain.
After the points finish last race, let's aim to keep the momentum going.
Thanks, Jeff. I think we may well just get a titanic battle in this one. Such is the animosity of the slipstream. Is that even the right use of that word? I don't know, but slipstreaming is ridiculous on this game, and being a power circuit, I expect nothing less than 10-car fights in this field. Away we go for the second race of Season 2 of F1 2018 career mode. That is Hulkenberg, or should I say Sainz, sliding in our DMs there on the run into turn 1. Thank you very much for the damage. Only cosmetic though, it should be fine. for us to carry on in this race. It's P8, potentially P7 as we get around the outside of Sainz. It was off the circuit though, so you have to give the position back and crucially give up a couple of car lengths to the race leaders there. So not the most ideal start to the Grand Prix, but we still have our front wing intact. We're still on the circuit. We're still in the race. That's all that really matters at this stage. To be honest, oh my goodness, that's a move up the inside of Sainz there into the middle sector. I did not see that coming. And that was me. Yep, I should have known that I would have done that move. But here goes Sainz up the inside again into turn 1. Very nice move from him there. We have the inside for the next left-hander, and we will hold on to P7. So there you go. I was just about to say, before that sideways overtake into the middle sector, you know, to be honest, given our pace, I don't really expect to be challenging the guys inside the top 7, to be honest. They just seem to be on another level. I think we're going to be the best of the rest. We're going to be the best of Formula midfield, I would say. But I don't know. You never know. If these guys continue to battle, if they continue to slipstream each other like they are doing at the moment, they might be able to fall into our clutches. But we need to get on with it and not really get stuck into the battle with Carlos Sainz here, who is all over the place at the moment. That's Romain Grosjean out of the Grand Prix. The virtual safety car has been deployed, but I think we might just about be able to hold on to P7 because we just had a nose in front as the virtual safety car was deployed, and I can confirm we hold on to P7 as we rejoin in the race once again with Green Flag Racing. The gap to the cars in front is still pretty substantial. It's like 5 seconds, but still continuing to close the gap if I can. Most of the front runners there opting to go for the undercut here, including my teammate Charles. We're going to see if we can go the extra lap and see if we can make some advantage out of this. It seems like the overcut is actually pretty good on F1 2018. The first lap after switching to new tyres is very slow. It takes a while to build up your tyre temps, and as such, depending on the circuit, depending on the car, depending on the conditions, you can actually gain a bit of time on an old tyre versus a new, very cold tyre. But this is a big moment for us going through the fast right-hander. The grip was really starting to go away. I was really starting to push in the tyre temps in the rear especially, but really out of the operating window, and that was the result there. Pretty scary, it must be said. But into the pit lane we go. We're going to be going onto the soft compound tyres. This time, I can confirm we are doing a 2-stop today onto the softs. And we'll do about 10 laps on this tyre set. Maybe 11 laps. And then we'll come in again at the end of the race and basically do more of the same, really. I think if we would have started outside the top 10, started on the softs, we could have gone to the mediums and made that work for the rest of the Grand Prix in a one-stop. But given that we started on the supers, one-stop is possible, but in almost every scenario it's much slower, especially since we don't have any tyre wear upgrades applied to our car. But you can see here, that's Carlos. Not Carlos. I've been used to battling him too much. Our teammate Charles Leclerc, he was in front of one of the Mercedes, one of the Ferraris as well, and he's effectively P3 in this race, I believe now. So he's doing an absolutely amazing job at this stage. He goes up the inside of Alonso there, who hasn't made a stop in this Grand Prix, and puts a car crucially between himself and some of the front-running teams there. So absolutely phenomenal job from him there. And now it's us versus Sainz once again, who got the undercut. And I'm going to see if I can make the most of this traffic. The AI don't really do all too well in terms of traffic management, and they can hopefully slide at the inside of a couple of guys here with the help of Slipstream DRS overtake modes. The Slipstream not really working all too well for us here. We're maxing out, not really making any gains. There's someone off the circuit there. It's Alonso and Bottas tangling. I'm tangling with the Force India and Sainz as well for good measure. Illegal overtake for the second time in this Grand Prix on Sainz. We have to let him go at the exact same point in the circuit, and more time has been lost there. But this is the incident between Alonso and Bottas. I think Vettel got involved as well, but at the time that I flashbacked, I wasn't able to capture all of that incident in its entirety. But that's Ricciardo out of the Grand Prix. He's just completely clattered into the side of Bottas, who was just indecisive of where he wanted to place the car, whether he wanted to be on the racing line or whether he wanted to go off the circuit. He didn't really make that clear, and Ricciardo is now out of the Bahrain Grand Prix. No safety car has been deployed, which is a shock, to be honest. We get safety cars for the smallest of incidents, but as soon as there's an actual big crash, nothing. But here we go, slipstream on Ocon. We might be able to get signs as well into the first corner, around the outside. Is it job done though? No, it's not. He gets us on the traction there. So great job there from Sainz. This is a really good battle, a race-long battle that is unfolding here in this Bahrain Grand Prix. He goes defensive. We're going to switch back and go to the outside through turn 4. Try and do the under and over. He gets a great exit, to be fair to him. And he holds on. Just watching on the onboards, the car just looks very, very understeery. Like I said, that was something we were really struggling with. I originally went with like 2.6 wings at the start of this weekend. I upped it to 3.6. Helped a little bit with downforce, but still the mid-corner speed is just not there. It's just really disappointing. We faked to go into the pit lane. Bottas stops early for his final stop of the day, and that promotes us into the top 5. So, I mean, to be honest, these aero upgrades, really, they can't come soon enough. We're really struggling when it comes to, like, mid-corner speed, hairpins, that kind of thing. So, a lot of work left to do. Pit stop was really good there, 2.4 seconds. The Sauber guys are absolutely on it when it comes to pit stops, and I think we're only, like, on level 1 or 2 in terms of pit stop efficiency. They could still be even better than what they are at the moment, so props to those guys. But speaking of our team, we look to the other side of the garage. This is Charles Leclerc. He's still in front of Kimi Räikkönen, but it looks like he's closing the gap, so it might be a case of Räikkönen overtaking him now as we head into the dying laps of this Bahrain Grand Prix. But for us, it's a big struggle. Like, the pace just hasn't seemed to have been there. A few of the one-stoppers, I think, are starting to get a leg up over us. The Renaults, in particular, Hulkenberg did an overcut on me, and I just haven't been able to match it with those guys, which is really disappointing. The second half of the race, the AI stepped it up a notch, and I just haven't been able to run with them. Here comes Bottas coming back at us now, the dying laps of this race, and if we want to have any chance of scoring points, I feel like we need to keep this guy behind. Like, we could possibly hope for a retirement up ahead or a crash or something, and we might be able to get 1 point, but if Bottas gets us, unless there's a safety car, we have no chance in this Grand Prix, and we're fighting for 11th place anyway, so we may as well go ham. We may as well go full send and see if we can hold on to this position. This is an updated look at the standings right now. You can see Sergio Perez has got himself up into the podium positions due to a one-stop, so looks like he is working that to his favor at the moment, but he's getting caught massively by my teammate. The gap is about 6 seconds, and I think Charles is the best part of a second a lap faster than him, so it's going to be a titanic battle to see who can get the final spot on the podium in this Grand Prix. Carlos Sainz is out of the Grand Prix. We saw him pull off to the side at the exit of the final corner. Yellow flags are deployed, and it prevented Bottas from getting past me, so I was able to get a jail out of free card. That made sense. We hold on to the position, and crucially, it's a spot inside the points now. So it's P10. That's Räikkönen getting overtaken by one of the Red Bulls there. I think it was Verstappen, and that's allowing him to get away. That being my teammate. Back to our battle with Bottas. He tries to go around the outside through the middle sector. There's a lot happening in this Bahrain Grand Prix. I'm doing my absolute best to cover it all for you guys. Trying to stay on board with my battle, but also Charles' battle at the exact same time. It's all kicking off here, but he's getting very close to Sergio Perez. I'd say another lap. Wow, another half a lap, and he's already there, going to the outside through turn 1. He's got the better tyres, he's got the better car, and he'll have the inside for turn 2. Oh, but he backs out, he hesitates, and Sergio gets him back. What a Grand Prix. There's only a few laps left, and it's really starting to kick off now. Here goes Bottas flying up the inside on the start finish straight. This is for position now, the final spot in the points, and Bottas has the inside for turn 1. Let's see if we can hold it around the outside. We have the better tyres, but they're really starting to go off now versus the mediums, which can pretty much run all day. And Bottas, again, falls short through that first sequence of corners there. There goes my teammate up the inside. That's for a podium through the faster right-hander. He can hold it around the outside if he goes ballsy enough. Is he going to do it? Is he going to do it? Yes, I think he does. He's got the position. That's into third place now, and hopefully he can stretch away because, like I said, Perez has been on those tyres, those medium tyres, for a very, very long time. He's got a slower car, and that should be it. Charles should be able to pull away, but the slipstream is very potent. I believe Sergio would have DRS for that next start finish straight, so it's hard to tell what would have happened, but we cut on to another lap later, And he's getting challenged by Sergio now. I believe this is the last lap of the Grand Prix. Side by side for these two guys. I don't know how Charles is potentially bottling this. He's now allowed Perez to get away on the last lap. I checked his front wing. It's still intact. The battling has really cost Charles. I think he might have got squeezed out at some point when we weren't watching. And Sergio, from what it looks like, is going to get a podium in this Bahrain Grand Prix. Sebastian Vettel, who is out all by himself by multiple seconds, sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix on the last lap, wins the race, and has a pretty cruisy day. But Sergio, congratulations, that is your first podium of 2018. But Charles, he falls just short, but shows just what the potential of the car is when we are not up there to fight. But for us, it's been a long, hard-fought, very tough battle. Just trying to get in the points. It looks like we're just about going to hold on. The pace today has not been there. Straight line speed has been alright, but aero-wise, just absolutely crap, and we just about get a point.
Okay, pick up rubber and bring it home.
Here's our winner, pulling their Ferrari into Parc Fermé. What a fantastic race it was. And I have to wonder, Anthony Davidson, just what set them apart from the competition here?
Well, I'd say it's just raw pace, plain and simple. I mean, we could sit here and talk about strategy all day, the overtaking, looking after the tyres, but at the end of it all, if you want to win, you need a package that's got the speed over everyone else, and that's exactly what they had today.
So, here they come now, out onto the podium. Wherever you go, anywhere in the world, the prancing horse flags are dominant in the grandstands, and they're out in force again today. It's Ferrari on the top step once more.
Good race there. I actually really enjoyed that. It was very, very tough from the outset. The pace was not there. We really had to work at it, try different setups over the course of the weekend. And it's funny, like, you can try so hard at the start of the weekend to try and get in the groove, but sometimes you just won't get there. And some other circuits, I do minimal effort and the car is bang on the pace. But that was just not one of these weekends. We had a tough battle. Arguably, this is a really fun weekend. We had so many battles. Just the end result just wasn't quite there. But 1 point, Charles gets 12. And by my calculations, Charles will be ahead of us by 1 point. So I thought I had a big lead over our teammate. I thought, you know, whatever it was, P5 I think it was, you know, we're looking good for the championship if we become a front-running car, but now it's a complete backflip. So going forward, if these downforce upgrades are going to be something special, then Charles is going to have the leg up, and it's going to be very, very interesting to see how it unfolds going forward from here. But guys, that's been this episode for today. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe to the channel if you're new to see plenty more F1 2018 content. Difficult weekend, but I enjoyed it at the same time. I kind of like being challenged. I like it when it's an uphill battle and really, really difficult. The worst thing would be turning up to every single race and being on the pace by like half a second. That's not what I want. It's actually really good. The fact that my teammate is as good, if not better than me, most of the time. I've never had a teammate that is outright faster than me, and half the time, Charles is just that. So it's really satisfying to see that is the case after playing the F1 game for 8 years. I'm loving it. So we've got to work harder, play around more with the setups, do more upgrades. Charles will get faster, and we've got to match it there with him. But that's it for today. We're doing a major tyre wear upgrade. We're going to do a minor weight reduction upgrade, and that puts us one step closer to the ultimate weight reduction upgrade. And boy, if we get that upgrade on the car this season, look out. We're going to be a force. But that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. Until the next race, the Chinese Grand Prix. Hopefully some big upgrades are on the way, and I'll see you then.